Deep learning could be applied in several industries. One of these industries is the automobile industry. And today we have self-driving cars thanks to the deep learning techniques. Here this image shows exactly what a Tesla self-driving car sees. We see how this car, which is driverless, is able to understand its environment visually and take the right decisions. This means that this car, for example, is able to detect traffic lights, and not only detect these traffic lights but get their current state. So it means if we have a traffic light on the road, it will be able to use the images coming from the camera which has been stored in the car to know whether to pass, to stop, or to get ready to move. These are really great advancements, but it's important to note that we are pretty far from the human level kind of intelligence. Still in the automobile industry and manufacturing in general, we see how the startup Landing.ai is using deep learning to automatically detect defects in parts which have been produced. And so companies using this kind of products can gain in time and resources, as now this kind of defect detection could be done automatically. Yeah, again we're seeing how these robots are automatically working in this assembly unit. And apart from this kind of applications, AI could be used in coming up with very efficient energy systems for cars. The next domain in which we could apply deep learning is in data generation. Now, when you look at this image or these different images, what may come to your mind is you have this image and then this is like a caption. Here we read a man petting a small dog and smiling for a camera. Here we have a man in a business suit sitting in front of paperwork. But what's interesting to note here is that actually these are not real images. These images right here were generated just by a neural network which was fed with this input sentences. So the input here, for example, was there are a lot of people that are at the beach, and so this was generated. In the media and entertainment industry, artificial intelligence is used for recommender systems. If we take for example this video from YouTube, if I'm to watch this video, or if you watch this video on YouTube, you will notice that after a while YouTube tends to recommend to you videos which are related to what you've watched previously, and this is done automatically. On this we see again another application, which is the automatic generation of the subtitles. This is actually speech recognition or speech transcription, as when NeuroLearn uploads this video on YouTube, we don't actually upload these videos with the subtitles, but YouTube automatically generates this by just getting the sound from the video. And this has a very great application for people with auditory problems. Still in the media and entertainment industry, we have the image captioning, in which when given an input image, the machine is able to understand that image and produce this kind of outputs. So we have, for example, a group of young people playing a game of frisbee, two dogs playing in the grass, and all these other examples we see here. A clear example of how this is used is in Google Photos. Once you take photos, what goes on the background is that this kind of metadata is being stored of that image. And so later on, if you search for, say, dog images in your phone or dog photos, this photo is going to pop up. And that's because an AI algorithm has initially generated this kind of output metadata, and which now could be used subsequently to search for information which is stored in this image. We also have object detection, which is a very popular application of deep learning. Here we see clearly how we have this input image, and the algorithm is able to detect, or first of all correctly say that there's a car, a truck, person, umbrella, car, and all of this in this image. And not only doing that, but locate exactly where these different objects are found in the image. Another very useful application of deep learning is in the healthcare industry. Here we see how AI could be used in detecting cancer found in the breast tissue. And apart from breast cancer, several other diagnoses could be done using deep learning. Still in the healthcare industry, deep learning could be used in drug discovery and even in the building of wearables like glasses, which help visually impaired people to better perceive their environment. It should also be noted that in such detection systems, the AI could be built to help medical practitioners, not just by replacing them, but by actually assisting them in doing the job better and more efficiently. In the music world, AI could be used in generation of music and even composition of music. And in telecommunications, just like with many other domains, we have virtual assistants which help companies respond to thousands of requests from clients without necessarily having employees to check on this requests. In banking and finance, AI could be used in helping people do better investments by helping them their investment strategies. It could also be very important in fraud detection by monitoring the system and noticing anomalies. Apart from these domains, there are so many other domains in which deep learning could be applied, and even some other domains in which deep learning has not yet been applied. And so we expect you to tap in the potentials of deep learning and by applying it in several different domains. It should also be noted that before applying deep learning in a given domain, you have to do a conscious effort to understand firstly how that domain works, and better still, work with domain experts so that you could come up with the best possible solutions. After finishing this course, you also have to be able to discuss with a domain expert who hasn't yet come in touch with deep learning and be able to understand clearly how deep learning could be applied in that specific domain. But also be careful not to overuse deep learning, as there are many problems which could be solved with simple classical machine learning algorithms, which many times practitioners tend to use deep learning algorithms, of which the simple classical machine learning algorithms would have been best fit and come up with even better results. Welcome to this very interesting and ever-changing domain.